510 at 10.
I always think that it's a struggle too when we're removing kids, because that's a failure not only of the family, but what is it about society that has not been able to assist this family in protecting for the children in this home.
A 1-year-old child is in Cass County Social Services care tonight after dozens of different drugs, weapons, and ammunition were found inside the father's home. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Andrea is off. 23-year-old John Eiton is in jail, accused of child neglect, possession of drugs with intent to deliver. Valley News Team's Krista Boehm has more on the challenges faced when any child is found inside a dangerous home.
The guns you see weren't like this when we found them. They were loaded and ready to go.
An AK-15, AK-47, and several other guns scattered throughout a house in the Roosevelt neighborhood, with a 1-year-old kid now pulled from the home by Cass County Social Services, with heroin, fentanyl, meth, and other drugs found with the 1,000 rounds of ammunition. It's no doubt this type of case can be hard to handle.
You have to build some type of a wall between yourself when you're working these types of cases. Otherwise, this is going to eat you alive.
As soon as police learn a child is inside a home and may be in danger, it becomes their first priority. But it's one of the last and most difficult decisions to send in social services.
Children are in that environment, and it might be something that they're used to. So the change may be moving them from that environment into an environment that may be considered more healthy.
Cass County Social Services says they always look for family that a child can safely go to before looking at other options, like foster care.
Just the fact that you're displacing children from their homes, from their families, from their siblings, from their friends, from their school systems, creates all kinds of havoc for kids.
Fargo police say it's pretty common for children to be in a home when they respond to any concerning call. But it's not often social services is called to remove them from a home.
Maybe within a month's time we might see a couple, 3, 4, 5.
It all depends on the condition inside and the level of danger, something the community can keep an eye out for, no matter how difficult it may be.
Maybe they don't want to file because they're feeling that this is a family member and it's an issue and it's going to come back and bite me.
But it could save and help a child's life. Krista Boehm, Valley News Live.
People can call Cass County Social Services to report any concerns with a child anonymously. If you notice an emergency situation, you should call police right away. We also know that there was a suspected heroin overdose in the Taco Bell parking lot in Moorhead tonight. Paramedics gave him Narcan, which saved him. In other news tonight, if you filled up at Fleet Farm Gas Mart during mid-March, you'll want to check your credit or debit card statements. Fleet Farm employees discovered a card skimmer March 14th on a gas pump where you pay at the pump. Surveillance video from Fleet Farm showed a dark SUV pulling up to and opening the pump during the early morning hours of March 12th, 13th, and 14th. Authorities say it's likely the people involved were retrieving stolen data nightly and then going back to a Fargo hotel to clone it. Now, 4 people, all from Kentucky, were arrested for criminal conspiracy. Police say they may be involved in a multi-state skimming operation currently under investigation by federal authorities. Police tell us 2 of these men are also accused of using cloned credit and debit cards at the Walmart in Dilworth. A Minnesota family's search for answers after their son's death could soon come to an end. The Andersons lost their son Jake back in 2013. Since then, they've struggled to gain access to his phone and digital accounts. The family's now working to create a law in Minnesota that would allow one person access to digital data of the deceased, and today they made their plea to Minnesota lawmakers. The Digital Access Act would also allow people to opt out of naming someone that would have access to their digital files. A Minnesota House committee took its first look today at a bill by the House Education Finance Chair. This measure would require school districts to notify teachers of a documented violent student in their classrooms. The bill is a result of recent incidents, particularly in the St. Paul School District, in which teachers were allegedly assaulted by students. The bill would also require that the state keep track of how many such assaults occur and under what circumstances. The committee took no action on the bill today. Big night for Bernie Sanders and Ted Cruz, thanks to Wisconsin voters. Reporter Weijia Jing has more from the White House.
CBS News projects Ted Cruz pulled off a win in the Wisconsin primary. Cruz's victory makes it more difficult for Donald Trump to clinch the Republican nomination without a fight at the convention. Exit polls show Republican voters are most concerned with the economy and government spending, and many want change.
I'm supporting Ted Cruz. Yeah, I like his ideas for the country.
In exit polls, more than half of Republican voters in Wisconsin said they were either concerned or scared of a Trump presidency. CBS News projects Bernie Sanders won the Democratic primary. Honesty was the top candidate quality for Wisconsin Democrats.
He's the only one that's been consistently honest and stable on his views.
Hillary Clinton is looking ahead to New York and focusing on women's issues.
I'm particularly concerned about girls and women, being one myself, but more than that, because we still have a long way to go.
New Yorkers vote in 2 weeks. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, the White House.
Wisconsin has an open primary, which means voters can select a candidate regardless of party affiliation. 86 delegates were up for grabs for the Democrats, 42 for the Republicans. We now know more today about how NDSU picked its media partners for the next 3 years. Valley News Live ultimately won the bid to continue carrying Bison football, while Bison games on the radio moved to Radio Fargo Moorhead. NDSU used a point system across 6 criteria to award the contracts. Valley News Live was awarded the football contract with 189 of 200 possible points because of our technical ability and revenue opportunities for NDSU, outscoring WDAY, which came in last with 100 points. Radio Fargo Moorhead won the radio bid with over 167 points. KFGO had 145, and WDAY Radio came in last again with 83 points out of 200 possible. There are more than 120,000 people in the nation waiting for an organ transplant. After losing their daughter, a North Dakota family is sharing her story to inspire others to become donors. Valley News Team's Giovanna Simic has our story.
For most teenagers, getting behind the wheel is the highlight of being 15. But for Kelsey Mishalik, she felt joy in another way.
She came out all excited, and not because she got a license, but because she checked that box and had that donor ID on her card.
Soon, that came to an end. Kelsey was in an ATV accident. After 5 days in the hospital and 2 brain surgeries, she couldn't be saved.
That's kind of how she perceived life too, so wanted to pay forward in any way she could.
At least for our family, it gave us peace and comfort to know that a part of her lives on.
Since she died in 2012, her family watches Kelsey live on. Through more than 60 people, her organs and tissues saved. One of them, a 4-year-old boy who got a section of Kelsey's liver.
Kelsey was somewhat of a tomboy, and she's just enjoying going through life as a 4-year-old.
I would encourage everybody just to continue to think about donation, to talk to your families about it, and to register to be an organ donor.
Lungs, kidneys, pancreas, and the heart of slain Fargo police officer Jason Mosier helped save others in the community. A gift his wife is remembering today.
I have the utmost respect for donor families who are able to think of others at the most sensitive, most turmoil time of their life.
Kelsey, we will never forget you. You will forever be our angel in the sky.
While it was a tough goodbye for this family, the legacy of Kelsey lives on through others. In Fargo, Giovanna Simic, Valley News Live.
Almost anyone can donate organs and tissues. For more information on becoming a donor or to register, go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.